Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Astrological Intentions.
Woo!
I'm Alex Rueve, and my mother.
I'm Sandy Rueve.
We have a podcast where we talk to you about what's going on astrologically so that you can plan and also exercise these beautiful activations of this cosmic energy. We also talk about we're talisman makers.
Yes, I'm a talisman maker. As a 29-degree Pisces sun, I have the ability to put energy as it's in the cosmic arena, as it's there at that exact moment. I can pull that down into a talisman, and that's what we'll be talking about.
So stick around, and welcome to our first episode.
Stay for a minute and love it for a while.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Hi, so let's talk about the eclipse season, actually. We began it with the new moon in Cancer, which occurred on July 12th, giving you 9:47 p.m., which is Central Time. We're here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. But immediately the moon went void, of course, and I don't make any talisman during moon void, of course.
And so basically this eclipse that you're talking about is the sun is being eclipsed from the moon from our perspective here on Earth.
Correct.
And what does it mean when those are in Cancer?
So Cancer is the sign of family, nurturing, care, food, home, our basic needs, our root system, our creative style. And when that, and we get a new moon in Cancer every year. We get one every year.
However, but this is an eclipse.
This is a solar eclipse, so it's a partial solar eclipse. Now remember last year around this August timeframe, we had a total solar eclipse that went across North America.
And that was in Leo.
That was
right?
in the last few degrees of Leo, and that was August of 2017. And so here we are in a partial solar eclipse in this month of July. And so the best time to make beads around a new moon is after the moon has crossed the sun and when the moon is not void, of course. And that was not until around 12:31 the next afternoon. So that was on Friday, July 13th. And this was about to ground more deeply into the things that give you nurturing, that make you take care of yourself.
So maybe spending time with family.
Absolutely.
Also, I mean, Cancer also is in a very big water sign,
yeah,
where it's emotional. So maybe be by water, bring up emotions that are, maybe pushed down a little bit.
True.
Bring those up to the surface.
Absolutely. And the fact that it was at 21 degrees Cancer, so anyone that has the sun at 21 degrees Cancer, which would be a July 13th birthday, mm-hmm, that this is a big year for them. Their solar, their sun in Cancer, which they're so used to, gets to do an extra powerful major endings and beginnings. And, you get to choose what that is. What about your emotional nature needs to
be let go and be cleansed? Yeah.
And with this particular zero cycle says to do it quickly. So let's not think about it, scratch our chin, wonder how we're going to do it. It just needs to happen quickly. That will be the best route and easiest.
And so you said this happened just a few days ago, but how long will you see these effects?
Well, any eclipse will be always in effect. I mean, you'll watch this anytime that this 21 Cancer gets, let's say, dinged, meaning hit by another transiting planet. will come up again. I don't have those here, but it's really time to refresh your home, ditch emotional baggage from childhood, because that Cancer can be about your mother or how you mothered, to delegate a responsibility that you've outgrown, and that to create a plan for the next 2 years, because this eclipse cycle will continue for the next 2 years.
And so we have this eclipse where, there's the sun, the moon, and then here us on Earth kind of being bookends in between the moon. But when this moon keeps cycling around us and then ends up where we sit in the middle of the sun and the moon, that's the lunar eclipse. And when is that coming up?
Because that means the moon is eclipsed by the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And again, this is partial. It's not a total. And that is on Friday, July 27th at 3:20 p.m. Central Time. And so, yes, it's going to be pretty. I don't think United States will see this. This is definitely some places in Europe will get this. And it'll, of course, be a little bit later in the day for them. And this is to dive deep. Dive deep into your emotions to uncover your individual self. Because we've got, if this is a full moon, we've got the moon in Capricorn, because the sun is still in, I take that back. The sun is in Leo by that time. Oh, yep. Yeah, that's why I wrote this. The moon is in Aquarius because the sun is in Leo. And so that means to regain your individuality, to feel proud of finding a placement where you feel good about being different. Right?
Yeah,
where you can
so that
shine
moon
what shines on you. Yeah.
That moon in Aquarius being the sign of eclectic things and unique and individual thinking. And that moon being where we feel comfortable and where our emotions come from and where we cycle through all of these emotions on a constant basis. And then you said the sun being in Leo is also kind of being proud of that, say, hey, this is me, this is my emotions, and this is what makes me so much different and interesting.
And I don't need to be a follower, right? That I can lead in my own individual way. I'm unique. So let me go be the Pied Piper.
I like that lunar eclipse. And so tell me what else is coming up this week.
Then we get the solar eclipse. The final one in this little season is August 11th, and that is at 18 degrees of Leo. So again, anyone having a birthday on August 11th has that 18-degree Leo sun.
That's my birthday. That's my birthday.
Woo-hoo!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's my birthday.
And so, well, happy early birthday with the solar eclipse there. So it's a new moon, and that occurs at 4:58 a.m. Central.
That's so cool. Our podcast producer here in the studio.
Aaron,
it's our first episode, and it's Aaron's birthday coming up.
Best birthday of the year.
Awesome.
Can
Bring it on, Leo.
I guess he's being his individual self and fanning that. And you should.
Yes. And his company, Jazz Fuzz, is awesome. We love it.
Come on with that. Yeah. It's just about to take another bump up. So some of the other things that I really want to talk about is what we gathered this week was Jupiter has been retrograde since March. So for most of our year, and Jupiter in retrograde, my teacher, Barbara Shermer, always called it the
Cosmic Santa Claus. I know this.
Cosmic Santa Claus says it brings gifts and it brings joy and blessings. And so make your list, right? And
abundance, a feeling of abundance.
Yeah, prosperity.
Limitlessness. That's Jupiter. Jupiter is like, bring it on. Let's indulge. Let's get big.
Yeah, it's growth, it's optimism, it's positive feelings. And when that cosmic Santa Claus has to, go retrograde, go backwards. It appears that no planet really goes backwards, by the way. But when it appears to go backwards in the sky, it's giving just half of what you wanted. It gives you...
Santa's sleigh breaks down a little bit.
Things aren't moving as fast out of the toy shop as they were.
Okay.
And so that energy, it still is bringing gifts, but it's not as abundant.
And maybe we just need to be a little bit more grateful for those things that we have, not the things that we're expecting to be on their way.
Well, exactly. And it's too is what really do we want? What really in this time from March till July, and it went direct on the 10th, in that time frame, if you weren't given what you were expecting or what you asked for or what you intended, hang on, because maybe you've changed your mind in some of those directions. Maybe the universe wanted you to slow down in your in what you want to receive from the universe. So,
and would that even be accomplishments too?
Right? Yeah.
You're striving, and you're working on something, and maybe it just doesn't feel like things are coming in as easy as they were before.
It's true. Yeah, you're on. And then that went direct on the 10th of July, around noon, and now it's starting to make its quickening and any time a planet stations, it goes really slow to make the station to turn back the opposite way that it was going. And then it went retrograde for all this time. And then it started slowing down as it needed to slowly turn. So it's just kind of maybe now picking up speed. So go ahead and put those things that you want back on your list. Maybe they've changed priority on your list.
What else is coming up this week that we should discuss before we get into our talismans?
Also, that just occurred is Mars just went retrograde. And I know that I've been talking to a lot of people that their energy is low. Their energy is deficient. They need to take naps. They're not nappers, but they can't get out of bed in the morning, zippy and snippy like they've been.
And so talk a little bit about what is Mars. Mars is this, what a lot of people know of Mars is the god of war. But maybe another way to look at it too is that soldiering on attitude and that really defined focus and the marching, kind of being in step with our path and where we want to go in a really aggressive pace, right?
Right. Mars rules Aries, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It starts our calendar year. It's the first day of spring. And so Mars energy says action. It's your how you move forward. It's your actual physical energy. And when Mars retrogrades, which it doesn't very often, Mars retrogrades every 2 years for 2 months.
Okay, so here we go.
As we're having this eclipse season, and it's not about plodding forward. It's about going into yourself and really finding out, wow, my batteries need recharging.
And so when planets go retrograde, a lot of people hear probably mainly about Mercury retrograde. But do all planets go retrograde?
All planets go retrograde except the two luminaries, which are the sun and the moon.
Okay. So when a planet goes retrograde, it's more about, is it the opposite of what that planet symbolizes?
No, it's not the opposite where we're talking about a high polarity and a low polarity. It just doesn't give you the same amount of whatever it's.
So its power is a little bit dwindled.
Yes.
It's on a low battery.
Yep.
Okay.
And Mars being our energy and our excitement and how we move forward and go out and play ball, it's just like, not not really.
It's not as fiery.
No. So stay close to your source of energy. And where is that for someone, right? We have to plug our computers and phones in every night, right? So it's kind of going back and plugging ourselves into where we find our life force energy.
That's a wonderful, you got 2 months to really hone in and figure out more about what is it that charges me? What is it that gives me energy? Is one type of sleep versus another type of sleep different? Is one diet different than a different diet where I'm kind of feeding my body, where I'm giving it this energy and this power? Am I doing it in those right ways? That's a good idea of when Mercury's retrograde, we're not powering through and soldiering on. We're actually turning more inward, like you said, and getting to a knowledge.
If we didn't have planets go retrograde, I know Mercury retrograde gets the bad rap. Oh my gosh. If planets did not go retrograde, we would have zero time to reflect, rest, recharge, review, any of the RE words. Got it. Right? And where would we have, we're constantly having to be out there in the world and thinking properly, and there's no nourishment for the soul.
Yeah.
So really the retrograde planets, and I love retrograde planets. I have 5 of them in my natal chart. Which is another story.
And we always like to plan our retreats during retrograde patterns.
Because it's a time to kind of rest and retreat into self to see what planet that is, where it's hitting in your natal chart, how it's moving with other...
Re-examine.
Other planets.
Yeah.
And pull something up. It's a good time to replan. And this Mars that started to go retrograde on June 26th, definitely now, is on it's we are 2 weeks or something like that. Beyond that, it is a time to, I know personally, as an astrologer, I use the energy, what is current in the sky, to do something, right? Or not do something. And this Mars retrograde, you and I decided to go on a detox.
Yes, very true. We wanted to re-navigate ourselves and our diets and figure out where this life source energy is coming from. And the detox that we started is one that's mainly plant-based, and it is getting to the source, kind of plugging ourselves straight into Mother Earth of, getting all of our nutrients. Nothing is processed.
Nothing.
No alcohol.
No coffee. Yeah. Well,
but it's been good.
Actually,
it's been really great.
I haven't missed my coffee in the morning, and I'm a 1.5 cup coffee drinker. But I haven't missed it at all. In fact, we're continuing it beyond what we originally had said, because it really is giving us that life force. One more thing about Mars retrograde that I've been telling my clients that, if you're not a marathon runner, do not sign up and start planning a marathon. You don't have that energy in your system to do something that it does not know. So, and here's the other thing about all you listeners that can really benefit from this Mars retrograde. For the people that know Mars is in retrograde, that are in the recharging stage, they will have the proper vital energy to get things done in the next 2 years when Mars moves in direct motion, and that's in August, on August 27th. So when Mars moves direct, these people, you and I, and you listeners, will have the proper energy that it takes for the next 2 years. So when now Mars goes retrograde again.
And where the kind of rubber is now meeting the road and things, that energy is now outward.
And we're planning right now. That's the planning stage of how I'm going to move my energy forward. So retrogrades are awesome if you are
You work with them.
they're working you, right?
So now let's talk about what's going on in our lives, in our schedule.
Well, in my schedule, about 12:30 a.m., like in a couple hours, I'll need to wake up, set my alarm, because I want to grab the energy of Taurus rising up over the horizon. What rules Taurus? Venus. Venus is conjunct the moon,
Oh, beautiful.
right? And so it's conjunct the moon in Virgo. Now, Venus normally doesn't like Virgo.
And so Venus being the feminine energy, all about beauty and money and love. Go on.
And Virgo says, let's organize it, let's plan it. I might be critical of it. I want perfection. So Venus likes to receive, right? And not imperfection. So it's not the happiest place for Venus. However, it's conjunct the moon and it's sextile, which means it's 60 degrees away from the planet Jupiter. And remember, Jupiter just started moving forward. So we want to gather that forward energy of Jupiter, just as it's, starting to pick up speed. So this is to successfully involve my partner into my business plan. Now, I know I've got 2 clients out there that are doing that currently. I told them to wait until this coming week because this is the energy. The
affirmation.
The affirmation is, this totally makes sense to me. I see the benefits of welcoming my mate to work on my beneficial and profitable plan.
That's great, especially in Venus kind of being this way of attracting attention and money.
Right? It's money
Also
and
love.
in relationships.
With the moon, our emotions and our feelings of being secure and having, all of our needs met. And then also Virgo, knowing the difference between the good and the bad and knowing what is right and wrong and kind of knowing boundaries would be a really great Virgo. So that is great, kind of stepping
organizing.
into a partnership where you know your boundaries, you're very comfortable, you guys know what you need, and that's really cool. So maybe to the listeners, I'll explain a little bit more of, so my mom and I, we hand make beads at very astrological times, very, just like she said, 12:44 a.m., July 16th is when that specific transit is going on, but Sandy, my mom, is awake and hand-making beautiful designed beads that have to do exactly with that transit while she repeats those intentions, repeats those affirmations, and then that talisman, we keep in touch with all of our wearers.
Yeah, well, that talisman is available for a wearer to work that energy and to have that vision of what the intention is. The intention is a goal. It's to do something, right? That's an intention. It's a desire. It's a wish, whatever, a dream. The affirmation is the mantra. It's the prayer. It's what you say to yourself about yourself, which is the word of God. So by saying something over and over and over again, that is a new story. The new story part is very important in affirmation, right? We're trying to replace an old, worn out, stale story. So this affirmation is, this totally makes sense to me because we got Venus conjoin the moon. Now, it's about beneficial and profitable plan because Jupiter is trine this energy. So
Yeah, that abundance.
And I have from 12:44 a.m. to 1:47 a.m. to get these beads because it's the Taurus rising. So I have to go after the ruler of the rising sign.
And so you said you had another talisman this week going on.
Yes, Thursday, July 19th, this is going to be at 6:29 a.m. until 8:18 a.m. We have the moon moving with Spica. In this goal, the intention is to be a goddess of humanity.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want that one.
Yeah.
Tell me the affirmation.
The affirmation, I receive this gift and talent. My life is exceptional when I use this gift. So this is the energy I'll go grab so that someone has this talisman and repeats this if one wants to be a goddess of humanity. And hello, I'm only going to make one bracelet, so There's many of us that
I
want to
would
be
love
goddess
that
of humanity, right? So those are the two big things that I'm catching. I may pull in some moon transits other than the Spica one, but
when you are doing these, even in their crazy hours, you majority of the time will snap a picture of those beads and put it on Instagram.
always.
Yeah.
Because I want you guys to know when something is happening, what the players are that are involved, what costume they're wearing, and what stage they're on. So that you, in your life, whether you use this talisman or you say something in your own world at that exact moment, pertain it to you, or see how it is pertaining to your life.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with humanity for you at that moment?
Absolutely.
Right?
Where
It's
people
happening in the sky.
Yeah.
Direct it to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the two that I'm grabbing because actually the Thursday talisman, I'll be grabbing from Squaw Valley, California.
Yes, we are on the road. We are heading to the Wanderlust Festival in Squaw Valley, California. It's happening from the July 19th to the 22nd. And we are going to be hosting, this is really exciting. We did this last year, but this is kind of a bigger, grander scale because we sold out from all of the workshops last year. And even this year, we've quadrupled the amount of workshops we've done, and we are sold out again.
Sold out. There's a waiting list that's also sold out.
So basically what we do in these workshops is any attendees that come in, we help you learn your moon sign because everyone knows their sun sign, even though they don't even, if I ask somebody, hey, what's your sun sign? They're like, oh, I don't know. But when I ask them what their zodiac sign is, they know exactly what that is. But they are the same thing. So what we talk about is the moon sign. It's that kind of just a step down from that sun sign to help us decipher a little bit more of our emotional side, right?
Right. Well, it's our hidden side, right? The sun is our bright, shiny self of how we act in the world. It's our primary essence.
How we shine.
It's how we shine. It's how we give light and warmth to our surroundings.
But it's not the whole story. And a lot of people think that is all that astrology is.
Right.
And so basically within these workshops, we print out your whole natal chart. We circle that moon. We talk about it. We have little handouts for everyone. And everyone gets to hand make their own bead talisman. And it is so much fun. Everyone sets their intention, stands up, says their affirmation out loud to the whole group. And we pretty much create these wonderful sacred groups.
It's really amazing. So I spent the afternoon today preparing for our first class, 60 charts.
60 charts.
60 charts where I highlighted their sun, highlighted their moon, because you know what we're going to do this year? It's different than last year. We're putting them on that little scavenger hunt to find out what phase their
what
moon
phase of the moon
is. So we have, what do you call those? PowerPoint things?
Slides.
The millennial versus the over millennial time frame. That we're actually teaching. We want you to use this as a workshop. We've given, there's enough information on your charts that you can go find it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Squaw Valley is an awesome time. I mean, being in the mountains, being so close to Lake Tahoe, it's a place where
You did win some pool games there.
Oh yeah,
There's the late night in Truckee.
Yes. Awesome. And so I'm really excited. Congratulations on our first episode. This is so exciting. Also, we invite any of you listeners to follow us on Instagram, intention_beads. That's where you can see Sandy and making her talisman pretty much in real time. She'll snap a picture and just give a little idea of what's going on. Also, I do have a free reading giveaway. Always you'll see a it's like a white background with all this like gold glitter in all of these different astrological symbols. If you tag a friend on there, you get your name put into a big bowl that we choose from. And every month we choose a winner for a free reading.
Come on.
Come on. Tag all your friends. You can tag as many as you want.
Your name gets put in that many times.
So yeah, this weekend I am going to be doing the drawing. So keep in touch with us. We want to hear how these eclipses are going to be affecting you. We want to know if this Mars retrograde is just like dragging you down. We are here to chat about it. So you can always reach us on Instagram, and we love you guys.
We're so excited to do this. It's also allowing us to be home. I've got my moon in Cancer, and it allows me to be home more, and I love that. Thank you.
So until next time, we'll see you next week, and we're going to be discussing some more awesome astrological intentions.
So be in transit.